Today I'm going to show you guys how to lose weight even when you're in a calorie surplus. So some of you are probably thinking, Mike, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can actually lose weight while you're in a surplus. Let me show you an example and we're going to go through exactly why it works. Now I'm sure some of you guys are thinking like, wow, how do you lose weight while you're eating more food than you're supposed to? The short answer, honestly, is because your body needs it, but I'm going to show you with numbers how I've used it with clients in the past and how it could work for you too. So let's say you're a 250-pound male, and guys, obviously I can't go through all the scenarios, so we're just going to kind of go through one that I think will be helpful. So you're 250 pounds right now. You should be eating around 3,000 calories, give or take. You know, you can use calculators online, and those are really good. I just kind of do my own math, not my own math, but I've learned this from other coaches. Essentially, you take your weight here, 250, multiply by 10, so that's 2,500, and then you would multiply by a factor of 1.2, 1.3, or 1.4, just depending on how active or inactive you are throughout the day. So let's just say you work at an office, 1.2. Now, this 3,000, honestly, I haven't done the math. It's going to be pretty close. Someone can check it, but it's really irrelevant. We're just using it for the example. So you should be eating around 3,000, but you're only eating 2,000 calories, and you've been stuck at this 250 mark. Now, this is where all the science nerds would be like, well, if you're eating 2,000 and you're burning 3,000, then you should be losing weight. And it's like, yes, but the thing is, there's just some things, guys, that I don't think with the body science can fully explain. There's just so many factors. How stressed are you? How depressed are you? How's your environment? How much water have you had? How much food do you eat? Like, what kind of foods do you eat? Like, there's so many, because we always try to break it down to just like a few simple numbers. And I'm a numbers guy, so I like to do that too. But you just can't. You can't. That's why I'm like, I'm not even concerned about the estimate, right? Because I just go off biofeedback. If you're not losing weight and you're eating 2,000 calories, hopefully you can look at this and go, yeah, you should probably eat more. And essentially, this is like the problem that most overweight people run into. Because what happens is they think they're eating less, which they might be, but they're not losing weight. And I explained that like really good in depth in another video, but essentially it's just because they're not feeding their body the proper nutrients that it needs. And so it's holding on to everything else that it has. So it's causing you to hold on to weight instead of let go of weight. When you give the body what it needs, it essentially will automatically get rid of what it doesn't need, making you more successful in losing the weight. So this is probably gonna sound tricky, because now losing weight isn't all just about being in a deficit or a surplus or whatever. And I know that people will disagree with me, but this is what I've seen in my experience, literally time and time and time again. I'm not saying it's all the time, but most times people that are overweight are actually under eating, or they could be overeating with processed foods and just having 2 huge meals a day. So those are definitely 2 different scenarios. But this is for the person that's now eating healthy and really trying to better their life, but they're not eating enough food yet. To give you an example of like how this works, when it works, like when this scenario happens, what you're looking for, what I had asked this client, because this is based on a real example, even though I picked somebody that I think maybe people can relate to. The main thing about it is, you know, he was feeling hungry in between meals, so that's number 1 sign. He was feeling really tired and run down, that's number 2 sign. And number 3, when he was training, he just didn't feel like he had strength to really push any weight. So those are 3 signs to me that you're under eating and you need some more nutrients. So what we did was, took him from the 2,000 calories here, and normally you just want to go up by about 20%, right? Well, 10 to 20% to be fair. But so we'll say plus 10 to 20%. Okay, and that is going to be 200 to 400 calories. So let's say we'll go in the middle. Let's say we do 300 calories. So take them to 2,300 calories. And these aren't exact numbers. This isn't the exact scenario, but essentially what happened was he went from 250 down to 248. So he actually went from 250 pounds down to 248, and he was eating more. And it's like, well, why does that happen? Again, because he's actually feeding his body enough nutrients to where it feels okay with letting go of what it doesn't need for the rest of the day. And so that's what happened. And then essentially you just repeat the same process. So that's how you have it. He's eating more food than he was, and he's still losing weight. Now, there's going to come a point in time where you increase this up to here. And sometimes guys, I've seen it where you go past what you think you should be maintaining at, and you're still losing weight. That's when your metabolism is on fire and you know you're doing everything right. And so I say it all the time. I mean, this happens with bodybuilders all the time because they're constantly evolving. They're constantly changing their physiques, changing how much they weigh. And there's actually something else really cool that I want to show you guys about this concept where you can actually kind of start to get leaner while you increase calories. Or I shouldn't say you get leaner. I should say there's a scenario where you start to look better as you eat more calories. Let me run you through it so you guys can understand that aspect as well. All right, so essentially what happens is, now this happens to bodybuilders, like when I do my last show, this will happen. If you guys actually get to your goal of 8%, this will happen. Essentially, it's like you put in all this work and you diet really, really hard for 3 or 4 months, and you get down to your 8%, and you have your physique that you're absolutely in love with. You can't even believe it's you. Now, obviously, you're going to be probably around like 1,800. This is just a guess, right? Your calories are going to be low, your cardio might be high, and now it's like, well, this isn't sustainable. And you're right, it's not sustainable. But we need to get down there, we need to dig deep, and we need to hold for a little bit. But then what we need to do is start doing what's reversing. You reverse out. So what does that mean? You can't live like that, right? Like when I get off stage, I can't live like that, but it's important that you hit that point because now you're so lean, you're so dry, your body is like actually like ready for nutrients. Like think of it like as like a flower, like opening up, like ready to receive nutrients. That's how you know like you got your body in the perfect spot. And so what you do with that after prep is it's not okay to stay there. You don't want to stay that lean. That's very lean. And so you kind of reverse out. And what I mean by that is you just add about 20% of the calories. So you go from 1,800 to about 2,200. Then you add 20%, you go to 2,600. And then you would just keep going until you either hit your maintenance again or you find a look that you like. And that's what I like to teach people is like, let's get down to an insane amount of body fat and then let's just reverse out until you find a physique that you love and you want to keep forever. Because the chances are, guys, a lot of times you can get to here and you'll look better. And then you get to here and you look even better. Now, of course, there's going to be a point of diminishing returns where you can no longer get that bang for your buck and like you will stall out. That's okay. The sweet spot might end up being between these two. It might be like 2,450 or something. But the thing is, that's actually not bad. Like 2,450 you can make doable. And the point is like as the bigger the man you are, the more you're going to be able to eat. But it's all relative. Like when I'm starving at 3,000 calories, you guys would be starving at 1,500. So it doesn't really matter the number, essentially. The only reason the number matters is because up until a certain point, like you're eating like peanuts and chicken. Like, so it's like essentially not worth it, if that makes sense. But what you can do is like, if you get to 8%, or even if you push further to 6%, and then you use this method right here to back off to like an 8% body fat where you're eating 2,600 calories and you have 8% body fat, now you're in a perfect spot where you can maintain that all year long, which is exactly what we want to do, right? We want to have the physique that we can hold on to all year long while being successful in other areas of our life as well, which is great. And this is something that, guys, I'll explain more and more and more. Like I'm going to go over this concept again. I'm going to go over some of the other concepts again as I get further into prep, as I'm losing weight, as I'm doing these things with my body in real time. I'm going to go ahead and keep making content about it so I can actually show you guys in real time what we're doing with my calories, how it works, and then like how I can translate it so that you guys can use the same concepts. So I hope that video was helpful for you guys. If you're not already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you have a friend that could benefit from a channel like this, go ahead and send them my way. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you're looking for, kind of some motivation throughout the day, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's linked down in the description there. And for those of you that don't know, I'm filming a video a day, like literally a vlog a day, every single day until I compete in my very last show. That's why I'm talking about it a lot. I'm gonna compete in my very last show, and then I'm gonna take all those tips and tricks that I use to maintain my stage lean physique after the show, after the stage, and give them to you guys so that you can have your dream physique as well without getting on the stage. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I will see you in the next one.